Howdy guys, Long Haul Larry, and we need to start tearing a motor apart. We need to get this motor all torn apart off of my F350 and get the motor and the transmission out so I could take them in and drop the block, the heads, the crank, and the transmission off for reworking. So I need to get this all torn apart because I'm going to need to be going back to work here very soon. So I got to get this all torn apart and get it dropped off before I go, so it's all checked out while I'm gone. So first of all, I got the oil draining. I'm draining the oil right now on the truck itself, and I just had to look to make sure that my bucket wasn't going to overfill. Getting close. And then the next step is going to be disconnecting the wire harness on the motor. Not going to video that. Basically, I'm just going to be disconnecting the whole wire harness, pulling off, and just labeling everything where it goes to and stuff. And then to start pulling stuff apart and getting this motor ready to pull out of this frame here. It's pretty chilly here. I actually got the shop closed up and actually turned on the heat this morning. And so it's a little chilly here this morning. But we're going to get working. Got me a friend in here, a cricket. And I got her all set up over here. I got me a whole bench thing set up where I'm going to be able to put all the parts, lay them up off the ground and put them over there. So it'll be organized and everything. And we're just going to get started. Like I said, I'm not going to video this. It's just pulling the wire harnesses and the hoses off and stuff and labeling where everything goes. And then once I get the wire harness off, then I'll start piecing everything off and stuff. Well, as I was removing wires, guys, it'd be so much easier to actually get this turbo out of the way. So I started removing the pipes. I got the main exhaust pipe. It was just a clamp came off. I got it sitting down here now. And started pulling all these bolts off. Basically, heat is going to be your friend. Did get all the bolts out. The bolts that go down here to the actual manifolds, these were so bad. This manifold over here has never been off. And it's an actual bolt that goes all the way through. So I just cut the bolts with a torch. Save time. Who cares? It's not going to save them anyway. He's going to put new ones in there. So now I just got this clamp up here. Let's work it around. It's loose. I think it's a bit still hot. There we go. The exhaust system coming off of the truck actually has 3 different exhaust pieces to it. There's this down tube over on this side. There's this one over on this side. But then it has this piece back here, which is the expensive piece. This one right here. In my right hand. This one's a little expensive, so we want to make sure to keep this. Want to make sure that this is not burned in the center here. This can be worn out from the turbo and everything. And this one is in good shape, so we won't have to get a new one of these. So now all I have to do is remove these 2 pedestal bolts here. There's one inside here, one down underneath the turbo there. And then you got the 2 hose clamps that holds the intake on. And this whole assembly is just going to come right off. Alright, that's off. I can take this breather hose off too. Yeah. Does not look like it. Exhaust, so we're just gonna pull the hose off there. There we go. And it should come off. Here we go. So now that we got the turbo assembly off, we can kind of inspect things a little bit more. And I can tell you that I think this was leaking. This is the turbo return. I think that it was leaking a tiny bit. I think that it was just leaking a little bit. You got your return and your feed line right there. And it's got these O-rings in here, and these fail. These are known to fail and stuff, and they start leaking, and it's pretty hard to change them. In a truck, can be done. But I think I found the whole culprit of why we have oil down here and why I was leaking oil. There's a sensor right there. See if I can get you over here to see better. See that sensor right there? And if you look at it, you can see how the top of it is actually out of, see? Boom. That's where it was leaking from. The whole thing. Whatever that sensor is there, I'm not sure which the sensor goes to, but it was sitting like that. So it was blowing oil because there was oil in the front of the engine, and then because the engine tilts back, this was all filling up with oil, and then it would just go down. It was just a little bit, but it was still something, you know. So yeah, so that's not good. So that's all that the whole oil leak was, but you know, we're at this point, and we're not going to just clean up things up and put it back together. We're actually going to rebuild this so that we don't have to do this over again. Well guys, trying to get this wire harness all out. You got your main heater for your intake, so the little, I don't know, you call it solenoid or whatever. It's a relay, I think it is. And then there's also the glow plug relay. Those two, there's a lot of wires to them, and I can get them all off in one piece without disconnecting everything. And I think it'd just be a lot easier. But I can't get to the bolts until I take off all this over here. So I might as well just take all that off quick. Pretty simple. Just gonna remove the belt. You know what I should do? Before I do that, I think there is a diagram inside the hood, but just in case, might be a little prudent. If I just snap a quick picture of it. There's our wire harness. Alrighty. We are about there. I have to remove one more bolt, and I cannot find it. Here it is. We got the motor free, and we're just pulling away from the transmission. Go. Motor's out. We just need to make sure the torque converter stays with the transmission, and otherwise we get a lot of fluid, transmission fluid spilling everywhere. Alright, I think we're good. Yep, we are free. Someday I'm going to have a shop floor with a really nice level floor. This is horrible here. It's pretty crazy that the mounts, the rubbers seem to be really good. Well, there we go, boys and girls. Motor's out. So now I gotta pull the flywheel. Probably drop the oil pan too while I got it up here like this. And I'm gonna go get my engine stand and see if I can bolt this engine stand, see if it'll hold it. It's a pretty big motor for my engine stand. It's just a regular engine stand. It's not a heavy duty thing. I think it might hold it. But she's a big block of metal, Rick. I'll tell you that. These 7.3s, they're a hunk of metal. They are heavy. But she is out. So the transmission, that's going to be pretty easy. It's just 8 bolts on drive shafts. It's going to come out, and then 2 bolts underneath. And I'm taking the whole thing, transfer case and the transmission all in one shot. And I'm just going to take that into, drop that off. I got to get this thing torn down to a bare block, the heads, crank, you know, all that stuff. Got to get all that torn all the way down. And then tomorrow I'll be taking all this stuff in for doing that. So I'm going to keep on working here a little bit, pull the flywheel off, and there's like a adapter plate. It's like a spacer or something. Goes on the back of the engine here to give the correct distance for the transmission mounts up and everything. Probably for different transmissions mount up to it. And take that off, and then I'll be pulling this thing apart. Pretty simple stuff. So I think I'm gonna let you guys go. It's been pretty much a full day of tearing everything down, making sure to take care and not break things and everything. I do have to work on these manifold bolts. I cut them. I'll try to vice grips and heat them, and then try to work them out. If I can't get them, then I'll just weld the nut on the stud. I'll just weld the nut on there, let it cool off, and then it should be able to come out. I'll get them either way. Yeah, it's gonna be all tearing all this on. That'll be a tomorrow project. I kind of want to get it off the hoist and everything, get it on a stand and stuff, so it's sitting there. So I'm gonna get working now. I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night. If you watch this here video, if you're not, certainly try that again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.